So, my people, this story that's moving around right now is serious. Oh, it's about Arise TV presenter Rufai Oseni, who once again shook the media space with his bold reaction on live television. During a heated discussion, Tinubu supporters accused IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, of spreading what they called a Christian genocide narrative across Nigeria. But Rufai didn't let that slide. Right there on air, he stood his ground and defended IPOB's side of the conversation in a way that got everybody talking, from the media houses to social media, even to the streets. If you're watching this right now, please like this video and subscribe so you won't miss updates like this when they drop. Now, this whole thing started when a debate came up on national television about the growing tension and the claims flying around that IPOB and its members were trying to use a religion to gain sympathy by saying there's a kind of Christian targeted killing happening in the country. But Rufai, as usual, was not ready to allow anyone twist the facts on live TV. He questioned the whole idea of calling it genocide, saying that words like that carry serious meaning and can cause unnecessary panic if used carelessly. And honestly, he's right. Because when you use the word genocide, it's not just a regular word. It means deliberate, targeted killing of a group, a very strong accusation. Rufai said, if people want to talk about issues, they should talk with evidence. If there's violence, say it. If there's injustice, expose it. But don't call it Christian genocide unless you have clear proof that people are being killed only because of their religion. That one line got so many people talking online. Some were praising him, saying he's one of the few journalists in the country that still speaks truth to power. Others were angry, accusing him of defending IPOB and trying to make the group look innocent. But you know Rufai, once he's on that mic, he doesn't bend. He kept calm, but he made his point clear. Please, if you're enjoying this gist, just pause a bit and like this video, and don't forget to subscribe so you can always get our latest updates when they drop. Now let's break it down small. IPOB has always been a hot topic in Nigeria, from Nnamdi Kanu's detention to the protests to the sit-at-home orders. The group has become a major voice of agitation from the southeast. But many people also fear that the group's actions have caused instability and division in the region. So, when Tinubu supporters accused them of pushing a Christian genocide idea, they were basically saying IPOB is trying to use religion to manipulate emotions. That was what triggered Rufai's response. He reminded them that IPOB has always described the struggle as political, not religious. He said the real issue is about marginalization, human rights, and the feeling that the Southeast has been left behind politically and economically. So, bringing religion into it, according to him, is just another way of distracting people from the real conversation. His argument was that instead of shouting about religion, people should be asking why the same issues that caused the Biafran war decades ago are still there today. At this point, social media went wild. On X, formerly Twitter, clips of Rufai's response started trending within minutes. Some users said, "This man deserves an award for saying the truth as it is." Others fired back, calling him biased, saying he's trying to defend an organization that's been linked to violence. You see how one small comment on live TV can divide the internet. If you're watching this right now, don't forget to hit the like button. Let's reach more people who love balanced and truthful discussions like this one. And please, subscribe so you'll never miss the next episode when we break down more stories like this. Now let's talk about why this particular argument hit deep. The phrase Christian genocide has been used before in different parts of Nigeria, especially when attacks happen in certain areas. But many experts have warned that using such words can create unnecessary tension. Nigeria is already divided along religious and ethnic lines, so words like genocide are very sensitive. That's what Rufai was trying to point out. That media and political figures must be careful not to use emotional language to heat up the country more than it already is. But the twist came when some supporters of the government started saying Rufai was defending IPOB because he didn't want the word genocide to be used. They said he was downplaying the suffering of Christians in some parts of the country. But Rufai clarified that he was not defending violence or any group. He was simply saying truth must be based on fact, not fear or propaganda. He said, let's call things what they are. If it's criminal attacks, call it that. If it's terrorism, call it that. But don't mix it up with religion unless the facts clearly show it. That was his exact tone, calm but firm. If you've been following Nigerian media, you'll know this is not the first time Rufai has stood alone on air. He's had several heated debates where he faced politicians, spokesmen, and even social critics, and he always kept that same confident style. Some people love him for it, others think he's too blunt, but one thing nobody can deny is that he's one of the few who speak their mind without fear. Now, while this argument was going on, many people began to dig up old statements from IPOB leaders and other activists, trying to see if the word genocide has been used before. Some found speeches where IPOB members mentioned persecution against Igbo Christians. But again, those claims are still being debated, with no official confirmation of any organized campaign against a particular religion. The Nigerian government, on their side, has continued to insist that they're only fighting crime and terrorism, not any religion or region. So, you see the twist? This whole thing is more political than religious. It's about control of narratives. Who controls the story the world hears? That's why this particular argument became so emotional. Now, my people, before we continue, please like this video right now. It helps more people find the truth, and don't forget to subscribe, because more of these real-time updates are coming your way every week. At this point, some viewers began to ask a bigger question. Should journalists like Rufai even comment on such sensitive topics on live TV? Should they just report, or should they give opinion? That question started trending too. Some people said journalists have a duty to speak boldly when falsehood is being spread, even if it offends people. Others said no, they should keep emotions out of it and let viewers decide. But let's be real, we're in an age where news is also entertainment. People want personality, they want passion, and Rufai delivers that every single time. And that's why, even though some politicians are calling for him to be sanctioned or removed, others are defending his right to speak freely. It shows how much influence one journalist can have in this country right now. So after that heated TV debate, the story didn't just end there. Oh no, it spread everywhere. From YouTube clips to X, Facebook, and even WhatsApp groups. People began sharing short videos of Rufai's reaction, sometimes even cutting off the full clip just to make him look like he was taking sides. And you know how the internet works. Once something looks controversial, it spreads faster than the truth. Please, if you're watching this right now, like this video and subscribe, because this channel is here to break down what's real, what's twisted, and what's just noise. Now, in the middle of all that online confusion, some people started asking, why is IPOB always the center of every conversation? Why is it that anytime something happens in the Southeast, the group's name immediately comes up? And that's an important question, because whether you support them or not, IPOB has become part of Nigeria's political reality. You can't talk about national unity without their name showing up. The group's struggle, led by Nnamdi Kanu, has continued to shape conversations about fairness, governance, and identity in the country. Rufai tried to make that clear on air, that we can't keep acting like every agitation is terrorism. He said Nigerians have to start listening to what people are actually saying instead of labeling every protest or movement as a threat. But what really caught people's attention was how calm and focused he was while saying all that. He didn't raise his voice, he didn't insult anyone. He just laid out facts and asked questions that many people have been afraid to ask on national TV. That's what made his comments trend. It wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. And you see, this whole talk about Christian genocide didn't come from nowhere. It's something that has been whispered for a while, especially after several tragic attacks in different states. Some groups claimed those attacks were religiously motivated, while others said they were criminal or politically sponsored. But again, using a strong word like genocide requires evidence. Because once that word enters the global conversation, it can change how the world sees Nigeria entirely. And that's what Rufai was warning about. He reminded everyone that the Nigerian problem is not just religion, it's leadership, poverty, inequality, and corruption. He said if people keep dividing issues along religious lines, the country will never face the real causes of its pain. And he's right. Because when people argue religion, they stop talking about bad roads, no jobs, no...
We're hearing that IPOB is one of the, groups that have promoted this hashtag Christian genocide. But I mean, we have seen major killings. But before I come to you...
I think the attempt by the cable to rope IPOB into this, I think is highly condemnable. Because when you check the data and the statistics, not only IPOB that has been talking about the killings of a lot of Christians in this country. And I think let's not sway into tribal divisions. It's not fair. It's not fair.
What do you mean tribal? IPOB is a group?
No, IPOB is a group that is tilted towards a particular group. You saying that it was only IPOB that have been talking about Christian genocide online accounts lead to IPOB is very tribalistic in nature. Not that I support everything IPOB has done. Other groups have talked about it. The likes of Father Kuka has been speaking about the killings of Christians in this country. Even Reno Mokri have been speaking. If you want me, if you have the time, I can read some of Reno Mokri's past tweets as regards the killing of Christians.
Yes, he was a huge campaigner of freely Ashari.
So I can talk about, the attempt for you to say is not only IPOB. Even Father Kuka, most of the people that...
No, I don't think, to be fair to the cable, they did not say only IPOB. They listed, if I did send you the investigation.
I saw it, but what was said... It wasn't just only IPOB. What was said was that accounts leaked to IPOB. You can go back and read the story. This is not the time for tribal baiting. Please. It's not going to move us forward. I'm saying that because, Oji, I love this country so much. And when narratives like this start to jump, we start to go, no. Everybody has talked about Christian genocide. We have all been affected one way or the other. People have been affected. But what we're also saying is, I'm also part of those advocating that, please, I don't want Nigeria to be on that list of country of concern. Because it's not going to augur well for us. And that's why I'm saying government agencies, go speak to them, while we also find a solution to the killing internally here. But for the fact that we are trying to say it's not happening, no, don't lose me there. It is happening. All this one that you are seeing in Benue, it's not that is it IPOB that recorded this video? No, it is happening. We have a problem on our hands. Christians and Muslims are being killed. Should people even be killed in this large number in the first place? I think that's the question we should ask ourselves. Look at people that have been buried today. So while we go to liaise with them, we should also speak the truth. And like I also said, please, anybody that's not trying to use the propaganda and turn things around, because see, in fact, let me even read some statements attributed to Father Kuka in the past. In an interview, he affirmed that there's violence against Nigerian Christians and had the characteristics of genocide according to international law. This is a 2020 interview. So we've all said this in the past. There's even an ECHO report by the UK. Kuka's comment in 2020 followed by ECHO finding of June 2020 report by the UK All-Party Parliamentary Group for International Freedom of Religion titled Nigeria Unfolding Genocide. So please, how we can stop it and stop this blasphemy? I mean, we've been here where we've talked about issues of blasphemy of some sort now. And the way people have been out there. Well, we're not here when we talked about, I had not joined the horizon. Eunice Olawale's case was longer. But other people that they keep, it's not Deborah's case.
Deborah, which is still...
it's not Deborah's case. We talked about Deborah's case. And no one. And what... See, Oji, let's even tell ourselves the truth. What happened after Deborah's case is the shocking one. When the people were arrested, didn't the city erupt? Weren't there squabbles? Weren't churches now attacked? I mean, let's tell ourselves the truth in this country.
Right.
So please,
electricity and all the things that make life hard for everyday citizens. If you're still watching this video, please pause for a second and hit the like button. Let's push this gist out so more people can hear it. And make sure you subscribe, because this kind of balanced news and breakdown is what we bring every single time. Now, some Tinubu supporters took the argument personal. They said Rufai was trying to paint the president's supporters as villains. But others quickly came to his defense, saying what he did was what every good journalist should do: question, challenge, and ask for evidence. You see? In a country like Nigeria, where politicians control most of the narrative, journalists who ask hard questions are often seen as enemies. But truth-telling is not hatred, it's courage. At the same time, others pointed out that IPOB too must be careful about its image. Because when people associate you with violence or intimidation, it's hard to win sympathy. Even if some of their members are peaceful, those who cause trouble make the whole group look bad. So this debate is not only about Rufai, it's about how words, actions, and public statements shape perception. And that's why this story is so powerful. It's not just about one TV argument. It's about a much bigger issue. How Nigerians talk to each other, how the media handles sensitive topics, and how fast misinformation spreads when people don't watch full videos or read the full story. Now, after all this, you'd think things would calm down. But no. More guests started referencing that same broadcast on other TV shows, either supporting Rufai or criticizing him. Some even said his comment might affect how international bodies view Nigeria's human rights record. Others said it might encourage more open discussions on TV without fear. Either way, Rufai became the center of attention again, and Arise TV got more eyes watching them. By now, even those who don't watch the news started paying attention. And that's exactly how media works. One heated moment can open people's eyes to bigger questions. And that's also why, my people, you must always look beyond the trending clip. Always check context. Always watch full interviews. It helps you see the real truth. And please, if you're enjoying this gist, like this video now and subscribe so you can always get stories told the right way. Now, let's talk about the bigger message here. Nigeria is a country of many religions, tribes, and opinions. But when leaders and media personalities use strong emotional words, it can divide people even more. That's why conversations like this are important. When people like Rufai challenge the way we talk, they remind us that peace starts with how we speak. Words can heal or destroy, and that's the lesson from this whole situation. And even though people disagree with him, one thing he achieved is that the topic of fair reporting and responsible commentary became front page talk again. People started saying maybe TV presenters should be trained on how to handle sensitive topics better, not to silence them, but to help them use the right tone. Because when you're live on air, one wrong phrase can trend for days and be misinterpreted by millions. So in the end, what Rufai did was open a national conversation. He forced people to think deeply about what they say and share. And that, my people, is the power of free speech done responsibly. Whether you like him or not, you can't deny he sparked a real debate about truth, justice, and unity.